So, hi everybody. Whether you're here in person online right now, live, or with the recording here. So, we are going to play today. We're going to learn some yoga poses and we're going to move around a little bit and be silly, which is one of my favorite things to do. And, uh, and we're going to meditate and breathe. Who knows how to breathe? Raise your hand if you know how to breathe. Yay, me too. Okay, that's a good thing. So that's actually how we're going to start out. So you can start sitting down, either crisscross applesauce or whatever way you want to sit. And then we're going to just start breathing to begin with. And then what you're going to do is you're going to breathe into the count of 3. And I'm going to help you with that because when you say 1, 2, 3 out loud, it's kind of hard to breathe in at the same time. And then when you breathe out, we're going to count to 5. So you can breathe in, 2, 3, and then breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can close your eyes while you're doing this too. And then you're going to breathe in again, 2, 3, and then breathe out to the count of 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. Breathe into the count of 3, 2, 3, and out to the count of 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And now I want you to keep your eyes closed for a little bit longer. We're going to play pretend. We're going to imagine because we're going to get to be good friends with the ground today, with the earth. So I want you to pretend right now that you're a tree. You're a sitting tree, which is a little different from most trees. And you're going to imagine that you have roots growing out of your legs, down into the earth, and out of your bum, your tush, down into the earth, and out of your feet, down into the earth. And these roots are so strong. And they go really deep. And they go really wide. And then if you can imagine that you know how you eat food, right? Well, one of the ways that trees get their nourishment is from the earth, from the soil, from the dirt with their roots. So these nutrients, these vitamins and minerals, they actually absorb them through the roots and the tree gets to use them, kind of like food. Kind of like when we eat. So you can imagine right now that your roots are sucking up all of that good nutrients and all that good food, and that's filling up your body. And then from here you can open your eyes. Say hi again. Woo, hi. And then you're going to bring your arms up overhead here. So we have these strong roots, right, coming out from the bottom, from where our body is touching the ground. But now we get to reach out with our branches too. So reach really tall with your arms up. And then you can kind of stretch one arm higher and then stretch the other arm higher. And one more time, one arm higher. And then the other arm higher. And then you can bring your hands into your heart center now in like a prayer position. Oh, and this is right in front of my llama. I know it's not Christmas right now, but it's my favorite red shirt because it has a llama on it. And you can close your eyes and we're all going to sing together. We're going to sing a word Om together. So you can just follow along. So take a nice deep breath in. Om. And you can open your eyes again. And what I want you to do right now is get as low to the ground, as low to the floor as you can. So you can come onto your knees and bring your toes together. And we're going to do what's called child's pose here. Cool. So now you're going to take your arms out in front of you and see how low you can get your chest down to the ground, to the earth. Oh yeah, you can put your forehead on the mat or the floor, wherever you are. And just take some nice deep breaths here. And maybe see if you can hear anything happening in the ground in your imagination. Maybe you can hear some earthworms in there moving around. Or maybe you can hear some of those roots growing. There are all sorts of live things in the earth. And then you can lift up from here. And from here, we're going to stand up. So you're going to place your feet so that they're right underneath your shoulders. And maybe you can bounce up and down a little bit here. And you have to make noises when you're bouncing up and down. That's just the rule that I just made up. Great. So now you can straighten your legs again. And you're going to take your arms beside you. And now you're going to pretend like you have roots growing out of your feet down into the ground, right? Because your feet are touching the ground now. So now you have this shape that's even more like a tree. But actually, this particular shape in yoga is called mountain pose. So it is kind of like a mountain too, right? So maybe see if you can feel like a mountain right now. See how much space you can take up. Oh, like a mountain. Maybe even take your legs wider. So this isn't quite mountain pose, but this is kind of like a mountain too. So see how much space you can take up. Wow. And see how wide you can get with your arms. Wow. And then bring your feet back together. And now you're going to take your arms up overhead and see how tall you can get here. See if you can make your tree really tall here. You might even grow a little bit today. You actually are growing today, aren't you? So from here you can let your arms down, and you're going to step strongly into your left foot. And bring your right foot up off of the mat. Oh, you got this. Look at that. So just keep the leg in front of you, and you can bring the arms up here overhead. This is called stork pose. And you know what? If you fall, it's okay. It's kind of fun to fall. Oh, oh, oh. Don't. And then you can let that foot down. And now you're going to lift up the other leg. So now we're lifting the left leg up. And again, you're going to reach those arms up high towards the ceiling, getting super tall. And then you can let that foot down too. Cool. So that was called stork pose. So now we're going to do actual tree pose in yoga. It's called tree pose. So we're going to stand on one leg again. So you're going to stand on your left leg, and you're going to bring the right leg, the right foot, either to your lower leg, or if you want to bring it up higher, you can bring it up higher, or you can keep it lower, or you can even just have that heel propped on top of the other foot. So that's totally up to you. We're going to stay here for several breaths, and we're going to play around with balance, right? So again, if you fall, that's awesome. I like to fall. It's fun sometimes, but it's also fun to balance. So see if you can balance. And maybe see if you can pay attention to your breath again, like we did at the very beginning. And maybe even try to close your eyes. My tree fell. Yeah, so if you fall, you just come right back into it. And raise the arms overhead, grow your tree up tall again. And now take your arms out wide. You got wide branches. I got my tree right here too. Her name is Mary. And then you can let that foot down, let the arms go, and just shake it out. Good. Great. So now you're going to step down through that other foot and lift up your left foot. And you're going to place that foot either on the inside or the upper part of the leg or the bottom part of the leg. We don't really want to put the foot on the knee ever because that's not so great for the knee. So wherever it works for you. Or again, you can put the heel on top of the foot if you want to. So we're going to play with this side. And this time, we're going to kind of start off with letting the wind sway us a little bit. Right? So see about pretending like there's some wind happening. You can even bring your arms in different places. Like you're a tree in the wind. Oh, blowing back and forth. Great, and then you're going to come back to a still place and bring your hands into your heart. And remember to keep breathing, right? The whole time that we're doing this. And inhale, lift the arms up overhead. And then you're going to exhale, bring those branches out super wide. And then you can let that leg go. Good. So we're back in, what pose is this? Mountain pose. And in another language, in the yoga language called Sanskrit, that's called Tadasana. That's what means mountain in Sanskrit. So from here, this is going to be fun. You're going to bend down and squat. Your heels are going to come up off of the mat, off of the ground, the floor. And you're going to bring your feet together. Come up onto like the balls of your feet, so kind of like on your toes. And then you're going to see about playing around with your balance. So maybe you start to take your hands off of the mat. And maybe you start to bring your hands into your heart center. Yep, balancing on your toes. And maybe you try closing your eyes here too. Oh my goodness. Great. So then you're going to open your eyes back up. And now you're going to walk your feet out a little bit wider. So for the grown-ups, you might want to put something underneath your heels. It depends on whether your heels reach the floor or not. If they don't, then you can put like a block underneath there, or you can put a rolled blanket underneath your heels. Either way, we're just going to sit like this. And this one is called Malasana in Sanskrit. And that means garland pose. I think it looks like a frog. What do you guys think? Frog? Yeah, So, you can take a little hop if you want to. Ribbit. You gotta say ribbit while you're doing it though. Ribbit. 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 Great. So now you're gonna come back to your malasana again and just kind of see about getting down low into it. See if you can get down low to the ground. And then we're going to play around with something super fun here. So you're going to put your hands down on the mat. And then you're going to lift your bum up. And then you're going to lean forward. And maybe you can lift one foot up off the mat, off the floor. And maybe you can lift the other one up. So it's kind of like we're starting to fly here. Woo! Or maybe you just stay in your ribbit pose. And you can keep ribbiting too. I'm going to give you a few more moments to play around with that. And maybe your parent is helping you out with that pose. It's called crow pose. And it's a fun arm balance. And I find that kids actually a lot of times can do arm balances a lot easier than we can. So I like to try those out. So now you're gonna put your tush down on the mat. Bring your legs out in front of you straight. And this pose is called staff pose. So you can see your legs are kind of like a staff here. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a forward fold. So you can inhale, lift your arms up tall, and then you're going to exhale, fold forward. So it's kind of like you're folding into yourself here. And remember to keep breathing. So this is a great place to be doing your 3 count in breath and 5 count out breath. So in, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you can inhale up here. And now you're going to bring your knees into your chest. And you're going to kind of roll forward and back a little bit here until you roll all the way back onto your back. Great. So keep your knees into your chest, towards your chest, and you can hold your knees. And from here, you're going to roll side to side, kind of like a roly-poly. You guys ever play with roly-polies? Yeah, so you're going to roll side to side. And then you can roll forward and back a little bit too. And just be like a roly-poly here. And then you're going to take your legs straight up in the air and take the outsides of your feet with your hands and bend your legs. And this is called Happy Baby. You've ever seen a baby discover their feet for the first time and they're so excited about their feet and their toes. And they are pretty cool, our feet and our toes, you know. So take a few more breaths here in your happy baby. And then you can straighten your legs out and bring them straight along the ground. And then you're going to have your feet kind of wide here. And then your arms come down beside you with your palms facing up towards the ceiling. And we're going to take like a short rest here. I want you to imagine, so you can close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that your whole body is like being it's just in a big blanket, and that the ground is that big blanket, and it's like the softest, most yummiest thing ever. So keeping your eyes closed, you can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. It's like you've been asleep, your body's been asleep, and you're starting to wake it up. And then you're going to inhale, bring your arms over your head and stretch out through your feet and your arms and see how tall you got today. Yeah. And then you're going to bring your knees into your chest. And you can roll over to one side, keeping your knees in towards your chest. And you're going to take a few moments here to just love yourself. Like maybe even give yourself a little hug here. Like a little butterfly curled up in a cocoon. And then you're going to press yourself up into a seated position again. You can do crisscross applesauce again if you want to. And you can bring your hands to your heart center again. And we're going to finish today with one more Om like we did earlier. So close your eyes, take a deep breath in. And then we say namaste to each other, which kind of means like all the awesomeness that's inside of me sees and loves all the awesomeness that's inside of you. So namaste. Thank you guys for joining today.